So would you like to learn more about the colors tan and beige and how to use them in our places? Well, stay tuned to find out more. Hi everyone, I'm so glad you're here to hang out and talk about neat interior design topics. In this video, we're going to be talking about the colors tan and beige. And so we're going to be talking about color theory and talking about how we use those colors in our homes. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd love to have you hang out. So let's get started. So beige and tan are considered neutral colors, so colors that kind of go well with other colors. And other neutral colors that come to mind, we can also think about maybe white and gray and black. But the cool thing about tan and beige is that they're a little bit more complex colors because they're made up of a variety of different colors and different color combinations. And they're a little bit more interesting. There's, more things, more layers of colors going on with tan and beige than maybe there would be with just a white. So just because of that, they're kind of multifaceted, kind of just this layer of different colors in there and different combinations. And so it's kind of interesting. So when we are thinking about tan and beige, we kind of like those because they are neutral, they go with other colors really well, but also that they are very subtle in their contrast. So, when we think about tan and beige, usually it's kind of, maybe on the lighter side or mid-tone side, but not too dark or not too light. Because if, a color is super light or super dark, there's a lot of contrast going on with that color with other colors. But beige and tan are kind of in the middle. And there's just this subtle variation with maybe just little subtle variations of lighter and darker versions. But we like that because it's kind of calming. There's not a lot of contrast. It's very calming. And we can think of earth tones is another way to think of tans and beiges. And, we can relate back to nature with different colors of sand or different colors of rocks and the soil around us. And that also can create, a feeling of connectedness to nature and just a calming feeling. And if we look at different colors, different variations of tan and beige, we can see there's a wide variety. So if you've ever gone shopping for carpet, you'll notice that, you want to have a neutral color, a tan or a beige in your home, but then there's all these different variations. Even if we just look at paint colors, we can see that there's all these different variations of tan and beige. And what's happening is just having to do with the different color combinations, different mixes of colors, and different amounts of each color that are making up that tan and beige. So if we were just to go look at the paint colors and just have even 3 side by side, we're going to notice maybe one has more of a rosy tone or another one could have even a more bluish or green undertone. And it's just going to vary depending on what are the colors that are making up that tan and beige. And then the other thing that's happening is that, some of those tans or beiges may have a warmer temperature, a warmer color temperature, or a cooler color temperature. And that just goes back to what's the undertone? What's the kind of the overall look and feel to that tan or beige? Is it warmer where it has, more yellowy and orangey and possibly red undertones? Or is it cooler where it has more of a greenish or bluish undertone? So just, thinking about those things when you're out and about looking for tans and beiges, just kind of keep those things in mind. And then there are 2 interesting things that can affect color, and that's with any color. So with tan and beige, we can think about lighting and, artificial lighting, depending on our light bulb and the light shade that we're using. There may be a different color temperature, a color to that light that will affect all of the colors in our room, and in a subtle way. And that can happen with tan and beige. And even daylighting, daylighting will vary throughout the day, and also if it's a rainy day or a sunny day, and depending on what time of day it is, the lighting, the atmosphere is going to affect how that tan or beige will look, and any color. And so it's kind of a cool thing just to kind of keep that in mind, that lighting and really the color temperature of lighting really does affect how colors look and feel. And then the other thing to think about that can affect how a color looks, and specifically, tans and beiges, is what colors you're using with it. What other colors are next to it. And we can look at one beige color, but depending on what colors we put next to it, it's going to look a little different. And it's very subtle, and it will just kind of happen just where those two colors are next to each other. And if we put a green on top of that beige, we're going to notice right away that the rosy tones of that beige are going to come out even more. And what's happening is that if we look at a color wheel and we look at reds, roses, reds, and green, they're complements. They're opposite each other on the color wheel. So when you put complementary colors next to each other in its purest form, green next to red, but even in a toned down version where we have a tan or a beige, but it just has that rosy red undertone, well, those tones are going to make each other stronger. So it's kind of an interesting effect. And even if we put an orange next to that beige, it almost kind of neutralizes that beige a little bit. So just knowing about those interactions between light and color and colors and different colors is just something neat to have as a tool when you are selecting colors. So one way we use tan and beige in our homes is almost like a background layer. And an example of that would be if we use a tan or beige carpet in our room. And if you think about it, the flooring and the walls, they take up a lot of space. There's a lot of area that's taken up just by those areas. And using a neutral color that kind of sits in the background a little bit is a great way to design our space, because then that way we can come in with other colors and other areas of interest that provide more variety to the room. And the carpet is not the main focal point. It's just kind of providing a background to the whole entire room. And another way that we use it as a background color is also in smaller areas, or literally as a background color. Maybe it's a background color on a fabric or on an area rug. And there are other colors that are part of that fabric or part of that area rug. But the tan or beige provides a neutral area. It's almost like it kind of brings everything together just in this subtle way. So it's kind of interesting, how we use it in different ways as a background color. And one thing I would keep in mind is if we decorate a room just with tans and beiges, and sometimes it's kind of an easy thing to do where you go, okay, I'm going to use different versions, different gradations, lighter and darker versions of tan or beige. And that can provide a really easy way. Everything's going to be cohesive because they're all related. All those colors are related. There's a little bit of variation just by, lighter and darker versions. But what can happen, it can kind of become a little bit dull. So I would encourage you to bring in other colors that have more colors to them. So whether you're using tan and beige as a background color in your carpet, on your walls, even in wood flooring, in tile, I would encourage you to think about using and bringing in other colors that take up a little bit more emphasis and add more variety to the room, so that it's not just all tan and beige and different variations of that. It's a little bit more interesting and a little bit more unpredictable, and it just adds more variety to our spaces. So I encourage you to stop by one of the bigger stores where you can find carpet, tile, and paint, and just to take notice of all the different variations of tans and beiges, and just have some fun noticing those variations. And let me know what you find out in the comments. And then also let me know what you think about tan and beige and if you enjoy using that in your home. And I want to thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. And I hope you're doing well. And I look forward to seeing you next time. And please like and subscribe and take care.